A lot of places have the self-checkout. I love it. I love it. Don't give me this crap about, oh, it's taking jobs. Good. Good. You know why? Because every place I go to that still uses a cashier, all I ever get is somebody who's completely uninterested in helping me. They're more interested in looking at their fucking phone than helping me. I've gone places where the cashier will have their phone here looking at texts or scrolling Instagram and just kind of swiping my groceries over the scanner, you know. So good. Fuck you. I hope you lose your job, you lazy piece of shit. Anyway, self-checkouts are great. However, we should keep a couple of cashiers because of not everyone should use the self-checkout. There should be some sort of degree of difficulty. Like, you know, when you're taking a ride at a roller coaster, the places that have roller coasters, what are they called? Roller coaster parks? Anyway, you have to be this big to ride the ride. You have to be this smart to use self-checkout. Like maybe a mini IQ test or something. I'd say put the IQ test on some sort of tablet, except for the whole reason they can't use self-checkout, it would be the same reason they'd be unable to figure out the test. Maybe that's the test. There is no test. If they can't even open the screen to take the test, then you just shuffle them along like, okay, you need to go over here with the cashier who has no interest in helping you. Yeah, because she's doom scrolling or whatever. And she's 60 years old and she's doom scrolling. Yeah. Tell me again how phones haven't destroyed society. Because too many times I see people at the self-checkout who are just so confused. It's just too much for them. Yesterday, I'm standing at a self-checkout. There's 4 of them in a row. One lady's standing there behind the first person, just waiting. And now I have a dilemma. Do I cut in front of her, which makes me seem like a dick? Maybe. Or I did the polite thing and I said, oh, miss. First I said, miss, there's cashiers over here, but also there's 3 open registers right in front of the lady you've been standing behind for how long you've been standing here? Maybe this isn't the place for you. Stuff like that. Stuff like people, they lift their groceries off the scale too fast, which causes the machine to go berserk, and now they got to wait for someone to help. The people at the self-checkout who don't understand how the getting help works. Oh boy, the red light's gone off. I don't know what I did. Let me just ask every single employee that passes me for help. To which every employee goes, not my section. I got shit to look at the phone. No, there's an individual who helps you. Everyone else in this entity of Walmart or whatever, none of us are going to help you. Don't you know that? Do you not know how self-checkout works? One person addresses the red light. One guy checks to make sure you're not stealing, even though he pretends like he's a greeter. And then the rest of us just ignore everybody. We don't even do any work. We just look at our phones and get paid for it. It's called quiet quitting. Anyway, don't use the self-checkout if it's too much for you. They should really, discriminate. You should discriminate. I'm not a fan of discriminating, but when it comes to self-checkout, there's 2 types of people. People who know how to use it and use it quickly, and the rest of you fucks who need to go to a cashier. Don't worry, they won't put all the cashiers out of a job because there'll always be people too dumb to figure out the self-checkout.